Hello friends, welcome back again to this new class. And I hope you remember what we have been discussing in the last class. That is about how the government functions or performs in order to avoid the food insecurity. We said government uses a program and that has got two components. The system has got two components. Yesterday we discussed about the first one, that is the buffer store. Government is storing up the food grain and distributing to the poor. And today the second component is the PDS, public distribution system. So after collecting the food grains and keeping in the FCI godown, how does the government give it to the people? How the people are able to make it available to themselves? That is what we are going to see today. And you can see page number 47. What is the public distribution system, PDS? The food procured by the FCI is distributed through government regulated ration shops among the poorer sections of the society, and this is called the public distribution system. And ration shops are now present in most localities, villages, towns and cities. So government has established ration shops in order to distribute these food stocks to the poor people in most of the localities, in the towns, in the cities, in the urban areas, in the rural areas, in the village, everywhere government has set up these PDS shops. Then some places it is known as by different names. Some places it is known as fair price shops and so on. So ration shops are now present in most localities, villages, towns, cities and so on. And there are about 4.6 lakh ration shops all over the country. You can underline how many ration shops are there all over the country by now. Then ration shops are also known as fair price shops. You can see in your own locality it may be known as fair price shop. So they are all government agents in order to distribute the rice to the poor people in a lower cost. So they will have a card, they have to go with a card, otherwise they will not be able to get for cheaper rate. Only those who are bringing that card or ration card, that BPL, to prove that they are BPL people, only then they will be able to get it. Then they keep stock of food grains, sugar, kerosene and kerosene oil for cooking. So these are the things that people can get. They can get wheat, rice, sugar and kerosene oil. These are the things they can get from fair price shop for a cheaper rate, and these are the essential things for the people, poor people to suffer to manage their life as well. So government makes sure that these essential things are provided at a cheaper rate. Then these items are sold to people at a price lower than the market price, and any family a ration card can buy. Any family with a ration card can buy a stipulated amount of these items. So people who are poor, they will have a ration card or a BPL card and go with that card and show it to the shopkeeper, and he will give you things at a much lower rate than that is of the market. And government has fixed a rate or the amount that is to be given to every person. So that is 35 kg of grains. A person can get 35 kg of grain, 5 liters of kerosene, 5 kgs of sugar and so on. These are the ways that government is distributing to the poor people. So we cannot go and say give me one sack of rice. They are fixed. So maybe for 1 week this much. Then next week you have to go again. So government will fix a rate, and more than that you cannot buy. Otherwise some people will be doing the business. They will be buying for a cheaper rate from the ration shop, then they will go and sell it to the market with a high price for the profit. So that is not allowed. So government does not want it to be misused, but only to provide food security to the people. Then every month from the nearby ration shop. So once in a month it is given to the people and they can go to the ration shop that is nearby, they can buy these things for them. Then the introduction of rationing in India dates back to 1940s against the backdrop of Bengal famine. So we said in 1943 there was a severe famine in Bengal, and after that the government of India planned out that such kind of famine should not be there because so many people died, around 30 lakh people died during that famine, and such a famine should not occur anymore in our country. So government planned for that and introduced this ration system providing food for the poor people. And the rationing system was revived in the wake of an acute food shortage during the 1960s prior to the Green Revolution. So in 1960 government started this Green Revolution, and before that also 1 year there was a very severe, very acute starvation was there, food shortage was there in our country. Then in the wake of the high incidence of poverty levels as reported by NSSO in the mid 1970s, three important food intervention programs were introduced. The public distribution system for food grains in existence earlier but strengthened thereafter. Then integrated child development services ICDS introduced in 1975 on an experimental basis, and food for work FFW introduced in 77-78. So government, when they saw that people have faced this problem of food insecurity, government introduced this again in a better way. PDS was already there, but government revitalized it, improved that system a little more in order to make it more perfect. Then plus government introduced two more other programs. One is integrated child development program. Then another one was food for work program. So these are the programs government introduced in order to overcome from that problem of food insecurity, to help every person to be able to have that food that is distributed by the government and so on. So about this program we will study in detail little later. Then several new programs have been launched and some have been restructured with the growing experience of administering the programs. So these programs have been introduced by the government, and some program that was already there, government saw that is not functioning properly, therefore made it possible that it should be functioning in a better way. So government improved that system of functioning to make it more better and so on. So PDS was like that. PDS was there already, but government improved the performance of PDS. Then at present there are several poverty alleviation programs, that is PAP, poverty alleviation program, mostly in rural areas which have an explicit food component also. So most of the people living in the rural area, they face this food insecurity problem. Therefore government introduced poverty alleviation program for the poor people in the rural areas. Then midday meals, all that is introduced in order to help the poor people. So midday meals etc. are exclusively food security programs. Most of the pubs also enhance food security. Then employment programs greatly contribute to food security by increasing the income of the poor. So when the employment is provided, people will have money in their hand, and with that money they can buy food for them. So when employment is provided, the food insecurity becomes less. People are able to buy. People are in a situation to buy food for the people, food for themselves. Then suggested activity. So gather detailed information about some of the programs initiated by the government which have food component. So we have discussed about it, few programs of the government, and try to find out what are the programs government is introducing in your own area to help the poverty stricken people here, how to remove the poverty from their life and so on. And so some hints are given there: rural wage employment program, employment guarantee scheme, and Sambhurna Gramin Roja Yojana, midday meal, integrated child development services, and so on. So these are some of the programs introduced by the government to help the poor people, and try to find out what are these programs, or among them which of the programs are being introduced in your place in order to help the people of your place and so on. So ask your elders or your friends or your parents and try to find it out. Now let us see about one of the programs that the government introduced, that is called National Food for Work program. So people will invite the people, government will invite the people to come and do the work. Let's see what it is. So National Food for Work program was launched on November 14, 2004 in 150 most backward districts of the country, with the objective of intensifying the generation of supplementary wage employment. So government started this program in 2004 in 150 most backward districts of our country. So government chose the most backward areas of our country. 150 districts were selected. Then what did the government do? Government will provide wage employment, or will supply food for employment. So the program is open to all rural poor who are in need of wage employment and desire to do manual unskilled work. It is implemented as a 100% centrally sponsored scheme, and the food grains are provided to states free of cost. So people who are very poor, people who have no work to manage their daily life, they can come and work where the government is showing them, maybe cutting roads, maybe performing other developmental activities. So they can come and perform those works and receive the food for them. And the central government is sponsoring this program. State government has no expense at all. So the state government will be given the food grains and other things to distribute to the poor people after making them to do the work. So that food grain and everything will be supplied to the state by the central government, and the state government has only one responsibility, that is to call these poor people, show them some place where they have to do the work, what work they have to do, and at the end of the day give them food grain, maybe give them wheat, rice, everything, so that they can take it home and work and cook food and eat. That is the plan of the government. Then the collector is the nodal officer at the district level and has the overall responsibility of planning, implementation, coordination, and monitoring and supervision. So since it is districts are collected, the most important officer in the district is the DC, and therefore it is the duty and responsibility of the DC to find out where are these poor people are there, or what work we will give them, and so he has to give information to them, he has to invite them, he has to do the planning and then implement the work and provide the food grains at the end of the day, all that. So that is entirely the responsibility of the DC of that district. And for 2004-2005, rupees 2020 crore have been allocated for the program, in addition to 20 lakh tons of food grain. So the central government spent how much money for the 1 year? In 2004-2005, 2020 crore rupees were spent for helping these poor people. It's not a small amount, 2020 crore. And also they gave the food grain of 20 lakh tons. So 20 lakh tons food grains were given, and then money also was given. So that money will be made use for helping these poor, so that these poor people will be able to come out of their poverty, come out of their famine, and will be able to live a good healthy life. That is the intention of the government. Then We can see now how the current status of public distribution system. How is this public distribution system is going on at present? How is it functioning? How is it performing? Is it going normally and so on? So public distribution system, that is PDS, is the most important step taken by the government of India towards ensuring food security. So among the programs that government arranged, food security or food distribution system is the most important program in order to alleviate the poverty from our country. Then in the beginning, the coverage of PDS was universal with no discrimination between the poor and the non-poor. So in the beginning, when they introduced this PDS, the food grains were given at a low price to everyone, whether they are poor or not poor. Everybody can come and buy from this ration shop. That was the first stage. It was going on like that. And so those who are rich, actually they don't need discount. They can pay full price and buy from the shop. But the government did not make any difference. The poor people, all those who want can come and buy. That was the plan of the government. Then in and over the years, the policy related to PDS has been revised to make it more efficient and targeted. In 1992, revamped public distribution system was introduced in 1,700 blocks in the country. So afterwards, government revamped or changed. Then it became a revamped public distribution system. So earlier it was PDS, then government revamped. Revamped means change. Government changed some of the rules of this PDS and made it a new program called RPDS. And according to this RPDS, the target was to provide the benefits of PDS to remote and backward areas. So early government was trying to give to rich people and poor people as well. But now the government is planning to target only the poor people who are especially living in the rural areas, the poor farmers and so on. And from June 1997, in a renewed attempt, targeted public distribution system was introduced to adopt the principle of targeting the poor in all areas. So after 5 years, government changed this system again and made a little more improvement and called it by another name, targeted public distribution system. So it became targeted public distribution system. So government then they wanted to this to make the poor people all areas, whether they are living in the town or in the rural area, doesn't matter. They want make it available to all the poor people wherever they are living. That is called targeted public distribution system. Then it was for the first time that a differential price policy was adopted for poor and non-poor. So here government made different prices. For the poor people, very low price, and people who are non-poor, they had to pay high price. So government made the different rates for different people. For poor people, one rate, and for who are not poor, they had to pay a little more higher. Accordingly, they made the difference. And further, in 2000, two special schemes were launched. That is Antyodaya Anna Yojana, that is AAY, and the Annapurna scheme with the special target groups of. So these two programs that the government started, that was targeting to help the poorest of the poor and the indigent senior citizens respectively. So government started these two programs meant for helping the poor people and also the indigent senior citizens. So one program called Antyodaya Anna Yojana. one is called Annapurna scheme. Annapurna scheme. That is for senior people, for the old people, those who are unable to do the work, those who are no one to look after, and so they can go and buy from the ration shops the things that are allotted for them. So government introduced these two programs in order to help the poor people, the old senior citizens, and so on. And you can see a chart is given there in your book. What does this say? So the names of the schemes are there, then in which year it was introduced, and what was the target people for whom this program was introduced, and what was the latest volume, how much things they can get under this program, and so on, and what was the price, the issue price, what was the money that they had to give to the shop, and so on. So PDS, it was introduced from independence, after independence, and it was going up to 1992. Then it was universal, it was meant for all, rich people, poor people, everybody was able to go to the ration shop and buy things. Then the price that they had to pay was, for wheat it was 2 rupees and 34 paise, and for rice it was 2 rupees and 89 paise. So that was the issue price. Market price will be much higher, but government is giving for a lower price to the poor people. Then afterwards that PDS system was improved and made RPDS. Then that was introduced in 92. Then it was meant for the backward blocks, the people who are living in the backward regions. And the volume that they could buy was 20 kg of food grain. They could buy how much? 20 kg of food grains. Then the price that they had to pay in the shop is wheat 2.80, 2 rupees and 80 paise, and rice was for 3 rupees and 77 paise. Then another program that government introduced was TPDS. That was in 97. Then it was meant for poor people and non-poor people, but the price is different. So they can get 35 kg of food grains from under this program. They can go to the fair price shop and they can get 35 kg of food grains. Then the price is not same. So the BPL, that means those who are below BPL, below poverty line, for wheat they have to pay 2.5 rupees, and wheat they have to pay 3.5 rupees. But those who are not poor, those who are above poverty line, they have to pay higher price. Not much high, but little difference is there. So they have to pay wheat 4.5 rupees, and rice they have to pay 7 rupees. So double of what they are paying. Double of what the poor people are paying, those who are non-poor will have to pay. But still the price we can see it is much low. Rice is only 7 rupees per kg. Now the price in the market may be 20 rupees, 30 rupees, and so on. So of course it was in those days, around 25 years ago, the price was, at those days the price was okay. Now another program is Antyodhana Anna Yojana, that is meant for the poorest of the poor. Those who are very poor. The program was introduced in 2000, and the amount that they can buy was 35 kg of food grain they could buy, and the price was wheat only 2 rupees and rice is only 3 rupees. That is what they had to pay at the time of buying. Then APS, another program was APS, that was meant for whom? Indigent senior citizens. Indigent means those who are poor, the senior citizens who are very poor, very old, and so on. So that program also was introduced in the year 2000, and 10 kg of food grains they could buy. One person can buy 10 kg of food grain, and it is given free, completely free. They don't have to pay 1 rupee also. It is given completely free. So these are the steps that government took in order to introduce this new scheme, so that poor people of every section, whether it is in the rural area or in the urban area, whether it is a retired senior citizens, whoever it may be, government made sure that food grains are available at a very low price, and for the senior citizens even it is given free of cost, so they can make use of these food grains and keep themselves healthy. They should not suffer from poverty, hunger and so on. Then the functioning of these two schemes was linked with existing network of PDS. So these two programs, Antyodaya Anna Yojana and Anna, another one is Annapurna scheme, and both these were connected with PDS. They can go to the ration shops and get the things from PDS shops. Then some important features of PDS are summarized in table 4.3. And the PDS has proved to be the most effective instrument of government policy over the years in establishing prices and making food available to consumers at affordable prices. So this program that government started, the PDS, all these are part of the PDS. That is the most efficient program that government introduced. Because of this program, the poor people are able to get things, able to get food at a very low price, affordable price. And it has been instrumental in averting widespread hunger and famine by supplying food from surplus regions of the country to the deficit ones. In addition, the prices have been under revision in favor of poor households in general. The system, including the minimum support price and the procurement, has contributed to an increase in food grain production and provided income security to farmers in certain regions. So because of this program, how does the farmers and the poor people got benefit? They got benefit because the government is able to pay to the farmers minimum support price. That is, if the farmers are able to produce more food, then they are getting price from the government, and it is beneficial for the poor people. They are able to get it, they are able to buy with a minimum price, minimum issue price. That way, both the farmers as well as the landless poor people, they are able to get the benefit. Then, however, the public distribution system has faced certain criticism over several grounds. Instances of hunger are prevalent despite overflowing granaries. So we said PDS is the best form of government functioning, but still we can say there are some kind of drawbacks are there. Some people are still criticizing the PDS that it is a system, it is a failure, or some areas it has failed. For example, government has collected so much of food and kept in the FCI godown, and it is full, granaries are full, but on the other hand, the poor people are suffering. They are not able to get this food grain. When they go to the ration shop, they will say food grain is not available, come afterwards. So the food grain is there in the granary, it is not distributed to the ration shops. That's why the shopkeepers are not able to give to the people. So that is one of the drawbacks. It is not functioning efficiently. Then instances of hunger are prevalent despite overflowing granaries. Even some people are dying because of hunger without making the food available. That is the one mistake of this PDS system. And FCI godowns are overflowing with grains, and with some rotting away and some being eaten by rats. So if you go to some of the FCI godown, you can see the godown is full of food grain, rice and wheat, and keeping too long it starts getting rotten and getting spoiled. And some places we see plenty of rats inside. They are eating up all the food grains and passing number 2, number 1, everything there, and the food grains are getting spoiled and so on. So that is another problem. So there is a graph given in 4.2, and you can see how the government is collecting the food grains from the people and so on. Let us see how is it functioning. So there are two lines you will see. One is blue line and on top there is a red line. The blue line is the rule of the government that how much food should be collected. Minimum amount of food that is to be collected. That is the line it is given there. Every month how much should be there. So every year how much food should be collected. But we see always what government has collected in actual, that is the red line. So the requirement is only this much, but government has collected more than what is required. So there is no shortage of food security in the godown. There is lot of food is available more than what is required. Government has collected, but problem is that government has not distributed it properly to the people. The people have been waiting and waiting for it, but it is not available, not made it available in the ration shop. That is why people have suffered from hunger. So government has done well by collecting more than what is required, and if they can also distribute it to the poor people, making it available in the ration shop, then we can say the government will be really doing well, and the poverty stricken people will be much less. They will be able to experience more and more food availability, food security in their lives. So we shall wind up today again, and in the next class we shall see about the program called Antyodaya Anna Yojana. We shall see in detail how this program is introduced and how this program is helping the poor people and so on. We shall meet you again the next day, and we shall explain about this program. Okay then, bye.